Up. Yeah, this is not the most graphically intense of
here it
sites.
is.
Alright, so, once everyone's got their board up, I'll go ahead and explain how things go.
And then
Got it.
you got the board up?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
This looks like Settlers of Catan almost.
Okay, so, let me go ahead and explain the rules of Castles of Burgundy, or in this case, Die Burgund von Burgund. Essentially, the game is decided entirely by your roll of 2 dice. Each turn, starting with the first player, they'll get to use one of their dice, then the next player uses one of their dice, and so on and so forth until all dice are gone. Your goal is to get the most points, and there's a number of ways of getting points, but let me go ahead and explain the actions first. So, in the upper right-hand corner of your personal map, you'll see 2 dice. So for instance, Danny, you should have like a 5 and a 1. It looks like, Angela, you got a 3 and a 3, and I got a 1 and a 2. These dice can be used for multiple things. The first thing they can be used to is all around the board, you'll see these, of the big board, the main board, you'll see 6 sections, each with their own little dice number on the box, right?
Yeah.
So, if I had a number 1, I can take one of the tiles that's above that 1 on the main board. If I had a 2, tiles to the right of that 2, 3, etc., etc. You can just get the tiles that the number associates with. If there's no tiles for that number, well, you can't get any tiles using that number. And these tiles are very slow to replenish. You'll only get, you see, like, each number has 3 tiles on it. You'll only get 3 tiles, those will be 3 tiles refilled after 5 rounds have passed. And there's 5 rounds in a big, in a basically section of the game, and there's 5 sections. There's going to be 25 turns in total. A second thing you can do with your number is you can place a tile that you've gotten from off the board in your inventory. So you've got little 3 inventory spaces at the bottom of your personal map.
Mm-hmm.
You can store up to 3, and then with one of your numbers, you can place that tile onto the board. It has to correspond with the color of the space. So only ships for instance, can be placed on blue. The tiles with the little animals, the light green tiles, the grassy ones, can only be placed on light green. The castles can only be placed on dark green. The tannish buildings can only be placed on the tannish tile spaces, etc. and so forth. So if I had a ship, for instance, and I had a die with the number 2 on it, I can use that 2 dice to place the ship tile on the 2 space to the left of my castle. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All tiles you play must connect to your starting castle. So you can't place something on the 6 of the light green all the way over there. You have to build up towards that.
So if your first dice roll has a 6 in it, you're not going to be able to place any tiles because none of our maps have a 6 adjacent to the start at all.
That's correct.
Okay.
You either have to give it a tile or something like that.
All
Now,
right.
there's a third thing that your die can be used for, and that is to ship goods. Shipping goods, you have in the upper left-hand corner of your map an assortment of 3 goods. It looks like, Danny, you got 2 brown ones and 1 blue one.
Yep.
Angela, you've got a purple, a blue, and a pink, and I've got a purple, an orange, and a pink. So the number on that stack of goods is the number you need to ship those goods. And you'll get more points for shipping multiple goods at the same time, but no matter what, when you ship goods, you'll also get 1 silver piece. I'll explain silver pieces in a bit, but basically, so that's the 3 things your number can do. You can take a tile off the board, you can put a tile from your inventory onto your map, and you can ship goods. So, what do the tiles do? Well, you see that little section to the left on the left side of your map, and it gives you graphical explanations, but I'll go ahead and explain each one. So, first off, the ship. When you place a ship, you can do two things happen. So the first thing is somewhere on the map, you'll see the goods that are placed inside of the numbers. Every turn, if that passes, a good will be placed in one of those sections. If you place a ship, you're allowed to choose one of those sections and take as many of the tiles from that section as possible. You can only have 3 types of goods in your storage as possible. So you'll have to choose multiple of the same color if you want to not waste, inventory space. So for instance, I could not get that light blue tile because I already have 3 different types of goods in my inventory. However, both of you could because you already have a light blue tile, and that light blue tile can go on top of that other one. So when you ship those goods, they'll go up. You'll send multiple off at the same time. The second thing the ship does is it moves your boat token up. And whoever is higher on the boat token listing is the one who gets to act first every turn. So basically first player token. Get more ships, you can move faster. You can see the ship token tag at the bottom of the main board. Okay, the castle. When you place a castle tile, you basically get 1 free action as if you'd rolled a die of any number.
Whoa, castle's rad.
Yeah, but of course you can only place 3 of them, so, be careful and make sure you have something to do with that number when you place the castle.
Okay, so these things only activate on the turn. So when you play a boat, you only get the extra tile there for that turn, and you only get the die roll for that turn.
Right. There are exceptions to this. For instance, the silver mine. The silver mine, which you have 3 spots for at the bottom left of your map. When you place a silver mine, at the beginning of a new full round, after 5 turns have passed, you will get a free silver piece for every silver mine you have.
Until that round is over, or?
No. So, round B starts after the first 5 turns of the game. I managed to get down 1 silver mine. So, at the beginning of round B, I get 1 silver piece. If I have 3 silver mines and it becomes, say, round D, beginning of round D, I'll get 3 silver pieces.
So it's on the first thing of a new round. Okay, so basically every 5 turns, depending on how many silver mines you have up, you get a piece.
That's correct. Alright, now there's 3 other sections, and this is where things start getting a little bit muddly. And this is mostly muddly in terms of numbers, not in terms of actual computations. So the first thing is animals. Animals score you points equal to the number of animals on that tile. So say I played a 2-pig, I'd get 2 points. If I played a 2-chicken, I'd also get 2 points. If I played a 4-pig, I'd get 4 points. But here's the catch. For every other tile of that same animal in the same section of the board, you also get to recount those same points if you played the same animal. So say I already had 2 pigs in my upper left-hand animal section. If I played a tile with 4 pigs, I'd score 4 points for the tile I just played, and then I'd also get an additional 2 points from the tile I already placed. So it's in your advantage to collect mostly the same animal for the same section of board.
So if all 5 of those little animal areas you have that, the final turn you'll get the complete number of points up there.
Right.
Oh my god.
So animals can be amazingly helpful if you manage to get them, all the same type in the same area.
Would you say that there's also a benefit to denying someone else the animal that they're going for? Okay.
So,
and that's what that little one down to the right is for, the little 2 all by itself.
Yeah, that one is, just another space, If you have just a random animal tile and you don't want to place it in your big section, sure, place it there.
Yeah, but that'd be great for, taking somebody else's animal and throwing it there.
There are other reasons to use smaller sections, and I'll get to that in a bit. But okay, so then the tan tiles, the building tiles. Each building does something unique. But you can't have 2 of the same building type in the same section. So that section of 5 buildings in the bottom right-hand section, well, you have to have 1 different building in each of those spots. So you have to have 5 different types of buildings in that section. Now, each of the buildings does something different. It gives you that graphical representation, but I'll explain each one just to make sure you know. So the warehouse, the first one you see in the second row there of your explanations, the warehouse makes you instantly ship a set of goods on your map, as if you'd rolled a die of that number. The second one, that is, I forget what it's called. I'm just going to call it the building. The building allows you to take a building, allows you to take a building tile from the board, from anywhere on the board, and put it in your inventory. The chapel allows you to take a silver mine, a yellow tile, or a castle, and put it into your inventory from off the board. The little farmer workers camp kind of thing that allows you to take a ship or an animal tile off the board and put it in your inventory. The first one on the third row, the workers complex, gets you 4 +1/-1 tiles. The bank gets you 2 silver pieces when you play it. The chateau allows you to place 1 of the tiles in your inventory onto your board, as if you rolled a die of any number. And the watchtower just gives you 4 victory points straight off the bat.
Dang. So what do the +1/-1 tiles do? Is that to alter a roll?
Yes. You can spend any number of +1/-1 tiles during any roll on any die you want to modify it by that much. So if I use 1 +1/-1 tile, my 2 could count as a 1 or a 3. If I used 2 of them, it could count as a 6 or a 4. If I used 3 of them, I'd be crazy. But you could also spend it as a 5 in that case. But really, that's just a waste of +1/-1 tiles. Unless you really needed something. Silver pieces. What silver pieces are for is, at any point during your turn, you can spend 2 silver pieces to get a tile from the center of the board. Those tiles at the center of the board will get wiped and replaced after each round, just like any of the other tiles, so it's in your interest, if you see a tile there you really want or need, to get it. And now the last thing, the yellow tiles. You'll see these really pale yellowish green tiles on the board. There should be 3 of them, 1 on the 1 space, 1 on the 5 space, 1 on the 2 space. These are special ability tiles. When you place them, you get a unique special ability of that tile. If you don't know what it does, just hover your mouse over the tile, and it'll explain it. For instance, the yellow tile that's in section 1 at the moment will give you, at the end of the game, 4 bonus points for every single one of that little warehouse you have, right? The yellow tile in section 2 allows you to adjust all of your dice rolls used to place buildings by +1/-1, as if you'd used a worker tile. And then the one that's on section 5 will allow you to do the same thing, adjust a die roll by +1 or -1 when placing a castle, a special ability, or a silver mine card.
Dang, so if you get both of those gold tiles, the only thing you can't place specially is ships.
And animals.
Oh yeah, there isn't a light green, there's only a dark green. Okay, cool.
So, so all of that makes sense. You know, you can see why, you know, you can use all of the things to combo and whatnot. Now, but here's the thing. Other than just shipping goods, I haven't told you how to actually get points. You get points when you fill up a complete section on your board. So, and you get points based on how large that section is and how early you filled it. So, let's say I filled up 3 ships somehow in the first round. Now you see that in round A, there's this little marker that says 10 underneath it. And then you also have this big number sequence to the right of your goods tiles. So I get 10 points for completing the section in round A. And then since it was 3 tiles big, I get 6 points. So that's 16 points for filling out that section.
So if I fill out, let's say, the little 1 section right to the northwest for the building thing, it would only give me 1 point for the multiplier next to my thing. And if I did it on round A, it would give me 10 points for doing it on round A.
Right, so you get 11 points. So there's an advantage for filling up smaller things quicker. So you want to fill out sections as fast as possible if it's so convenient to you.
And rounds, you mean, count as like the 5 different things, right?
Right.
The
after you spent your dice rolls 5 times.
Okay. So let's say by some miracle, just as a hypothetical, first round, before I've done it, within 5 dice rolls, I know this is impossible, but I fill out that little 5 section down to the right that has all 5 buildings together. That would give me 15 points and 10 points for 25.
That is correct.
Wow. Okay.
And that is possible because you can combo stuff.
Yeah.
Alright. So, but also here's another thing. The first person to fill out all of one color on their board gets a bonus tile worth 6 points. The second person to fill out all of one color on their board gets another bonus tile worth 3 points. So there's extra incentives for going for all of one color as well. So, yeah. A lot to keep in mind, but there's just a lot of ways of getting points, basically, and a lot of comeback mechanics as well. So don't be afraid if you're not filling up sections in the beginning. That just means you can fill up larger sections with more interesting point totals, like with animals or with watchtowers or whatnot, later on. Or you can use yellow tiles to get bonus points for certain things that you've gone for. So is there any questions? No?
Nope.
I'm pretty well. I think I got it.
Alright, then I'll go ahead and begin. So I'm going to use my 2 tile to grab the special ability for +1/-1 buildings. Oh, and I used all of my dice rolls first. I did not realize that. Okay, so then I'll use my 1 tile. I'll use my 1 tile to get the church from the 1 section. And now it is Angela's turn. So to use your dice, all you have to do is click on the die you want to use, and then click on the thing you want to use it on. So you have 2 3s, And keep in mind, though, since you are second player, you start with 2 +1/-1 tokens. And Danny, since you were unfortunate to be drawn last, you get 3 +1/-1 tokens to start with.
I noticed that earlier. I was like, why does everybody else have less than me? But then, okay.
It is to compensate you for your draw in the turn order.
I'll keep that in mind. As soon as it'll let me click it.
Click what?
No, my computer's just not letting me click anything.
What does it say at the top of your screen?
It's Misfortune Soul's turn.
Refresh the screen.
Okay, that would probably explain why it wasn't working then. There we go.
As I said, this is not the most optimized of games, but
yeah, I didn't realize that I couldn't.
But this is the best site that currently exists for this game, and it's free, so I can't knock it that much.
Yeah, can't say I blame you.
So, using the 3... And it looks like he grabbed the Chateau. Oh, City Hall, whatever. Screw official names. My names are better.
God, it asks a lot of times if you really want to do that.
So, what are you going to use that other 3 for?
I don't know. But it's Danny Boy's turn.
Oh, you used it to place the, seal. Okay, for future reference, while that did get you 11 points immediately, by placing it immediately, you wasted its effect.
That's okay. I don't expect to win this round anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, then you... But yes, the 1 and a 5. What you doing with the 1 and a 5? You may need to refresh every time it changes turns, though.
Yeah, I needed to refresh after I made my first move. So
Oh, wow.
Here we go. I made that move. Now I need to...
Okay.
Oh, validate. Okay. Yeah. Alright. And then I am going to take... boat.
So, Carpenter's Workshop. And then the boat from what?